plemunji, 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 plemunji. Good morning again, everyone. Welcome to another Oy'Nissh vlog. So it's spring and it's quite chilly at the moment. It's the 26th of March 2026. Very cold spring morning here in Scotland. I'm currently walking in the Craigmillar Castle area. I'm going to forage for wild leek. So I wanted to journey along with me because I'm going to show you what the area for wild leek looks like in this place called Little France Park. It's just across from the Craigmillar Castle, so that's why I chose to walk here. And then hopefully today, tomorrow, I'll make some menus out of it, some Oy'Nissh menu, that is. So today is all about searching for wild leek and or plemunji in Oy'Nissh language. So journey along with me and you'll get to see the awesomeness of what spring can offer in terms of edible plants here in Scotland. So wild leek or plemunji. I'm going to turn the camera around so you can get a view of the castle and the entrance to the Little France Park just across from the traffic lights. So that's the Craigmillar Castle there in the background, and this is the part that leads to Little France. There are different entry points. So the Little France Park, beyond it is the Royal Infirmary of Edinburgh, and it takes you to this place called Morden, this residential area called Morden, etc. And Craigmillar is left of the Little France Park. So that's the castle, and I'm going to cross the traffic light into Little France. Okay, there's nothing coming. So now I am in Little France, and this is the woodland part of Little France. Over there, the woodland is linked with Craigmillar Castle Park. I think probably at one point all of this was just Craigmillar Castle Park, but because this area is now developed with residential apartments and the hospitality and research center, is given this unique name Little France, because I think in the past when Queen Mary of Scots used to entertain some of her guests, they were from France and they used to stay somewhere in the area, so maybe that's why I get the name Little France. But this is the entry point. If I continue down, I can walk to the hospital or to what's known as Green Dykes. But this is one entry point to the park. So my best bet is I'm going to keep the camera on it so you can see the path around this little area and where you can find the wild leek. Already I can spot wild leek or plemunji. Here we go. See, loads of it. Wild leek. Look at it. I didn't even have to go far, and it's there in abundance. And some of it start to flower already. Yes? All of that is wild leek. So this area is really good for this vegetable, and it smells so nice. So let me continue. So remember, I'm going to take you on a tour around this little path. I think it's like a circle. And then at the end I'll forage for some of the plemunji or wild leek. So let me show you some other parts that have loads of this spring vegetable. So I have to go up on this. Oh, let me just take this path. So here we go. Wild leek. And the good thing is you can get it's not far from where people live. They can just pop up and get their leek. But they'll have to know what to do with it. That's the important thing. It's all wild leek here. Or plemunji. Look, it's amazing, isn't it? It's this nice green carpet. And as many times before I mentioned, what you don't get is the smell. You have to be here in the woodland and even across the UK and Ireland to get that experience. I've never been to Ireland to see what their foraging grown like. It would be interesting to see what it's like, but I don't know. I'll see how it works out. Okay, so I'm going to go back on the main path, on the circular path, and show you other bits within the Little France Park or country park. And also, this area is known for brambles and possibly raspberries too. So we're coming up on an area that's got a large patch of this vegetable. Might tell me the ground is quite frosty. As you can see, it's frosty at the moment. It's cold. My fingers are freezing off. But that's how it goes. And I need to find these nice organic vegetables. And here, look at this. So just veering off the path a little bit and look, all this wild leek. If you look down the hill, it's just everywhere. As I can see, that little patch there, and then right in this region, you can see they are even taller. My goodness, I'll have to go down later. I'm thinking maybe I'll have to forage in this region because they're quite tall. It must be that they the runoff from the hill and the foliage from last autumn and all other stuff contribute to the richness of that path. So they're quite tall as compared to here. You see how short they are? But I take you down to the region that I pointed to earlier on. But look, it's all wild leek. And you see these little bulbs? They've got their little bulbs, like the wild garlic or wominji, the wild leek or plemunji also have their little bulb. But I think these are quite invasive. Look how tiny they are. And they stay on the ground until next year. Once the plant die down, they stay on the ground right in that spot. If someone doesn't, our animals doesn't dig the seeds up, and they produce new plant for next year. Just look, the hillside is covered with it. Just look, it's amazing, isn't it? Absolutely amazing. Okay, so wow, those ones are flowering already. I suspect that generally they start to come into season about the third week in February, second to third week in February. They start to see them flower, and you've got a small window, maybe March, the month of March, and the beginning of April, and they start to go yellow and die out, and the seeds fall to the ground. The seeds that is formed in the flower pod will fall on the ground for next year harvest, for next year growth. Now think of all these plants bearing um, seeds, yeah? Just imagine. That's why it's so invasive, because it's not being eaten out, and it's edible, and it's not being eaten out, and it just keep repeating the same process over and over. And after a while, it just cover the woodland. And this is a good example of it. Just look, it's everywhere. So I'm still on the circular path. And as you can see on either side is the wild leek or plemunji, right? That's the nice big leaves, these ones. They're not as the leaves are needle shaped. They're not as wide as the wild garlic, but you can still smell smell the the typical alum smell you get from like the onion family. Be it garlic, onion, leek. You get that smell just like the wild garlic. And if I let me just come into this bit a little. Just look everywhere. And even on this side, just look everywhere. So the real catch is, how do you know what's edible from what's not? Because if you can know what's edible and you've got it in abundance like this, just imagine if all the residents in this area, Craigmill and nearby, Morden, etc., and I'm sure in the Morden region you get wild leek also near the golf course, along with wild garlic. So even so, they wouldn't have to come this far. But if they had to come here, just imagine how much they could forage for by just walking up to this area, along with stuff you get from the supermarket. Obviously, not everything is forageable. Something have to be farmed. like the cabbage family and so forth. Just look. You can tell, apart from this being a walkway, you've got kids cycling here. You can tell with the bike, the bicycle, or bike, whatever the case may be. See the trucks, the bicycle trucks. Yeah. Just look. The smell. That's that's what I can't get out of my head. That memory of the unique smell. Slightly different from wild garlic. But if you have both together, it's like a culmination of the garlic family. That strong smell of wild garlic and wild leaf. But here it's just the latter. But it's very strong, the smell. So I can imagine for those who do not like the smell of garlic, this is a torture chamber, an open torture arena rather than chamber, an arena. Just throw the person here for punishment, tie them up with rope, and leave them in the bed of wild garlic, wild leek. They'll never be the same again. They might become vegetarian or vegan. Who knows? Just imagine all this being eaten by the local population. Each year it's being replenished with the new seeds. Just imagine. Wow. That's one of the five a day. And everything you have to do in moderation anyway. So don't overindulge. So we're coming to the end of the circle. And as you can see the interior. I didn't go in a little. I should. And even on this side. Just go in a little. Look at that. And the birds agree with me. I think they're saying, why are you here? Leave my wild garlic alone. Why leave it alone? Sorry. It, it is to be eaten, so leave me alone. Sorry, I'm quarreling with the birds. You hear them? They're annoyed. Or maybe they're celebrating that someone have come to this sense and realize the importance of forageable stuff. There you go, told you. The bikers and all the wild leek along that side. Just look. It's everywhere. Obviously, you wouldn't forage like along this path. You have to go inside. Hi, good morning. Hello, good morning. Do you know what this is?
Uh, selfie stick?
No, this, the plant.
Oh, I think it's wild garlic or wild onions.
Wild leek, yes. You know it's edible.
Yes, I've thought about making some like pesto with it or something.
Yes, or just stir fry.
Just stir fry.
Just imagine you're cooking with spinach.
Sorry, he's very.
So like
hungry.
you're doing a stir fry and
Yeah,
you put spinach in it. You put this in it instead.
Oh, nice.
You can do the same with wild garlic. It's in the same family.
I can.
Family.
I'm never sure which one it is. So this is.
So wild leek.
Wild
It comes
leek.
about this time. It comes into season about February going into March.
Mhm.
And you can smell it.
It
wild
always smells
garlic,
very-
the leaf is broader.
Okay, good. That's good to know. Thank you.
So just pick it and smell.
I've always noticed the oniony, garlicky smell.
Yes. So imagine
Leek does
if, so for example, you're doing corned beef or vegan, whatever, and you normally chop up your onion and garlic and fry with like parsley or coriander. Use this instead.
Yeah.
Because it's got that greenness as in spinach, but it also have that garlicky onion taste.
Yeah.
But you've got abundance of it.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's more than the grass.
Exactly. So, and I tend to do foraging vlogs.
Oh, Oh,
So
fabulous.
yes, so I'm on YouTube, so I tend to go around different areas and do foraging and stuff. Locate new places that you can forage for stuff, and then create recipes out of it
That's what
to
I
cook them with
follow
it.
the Black Forager, and I'm
Mm.
always like, oh, I want someone to teach me because I don't trust
The
myself in the
Black
textbook.
Forge, I think she's from the States.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yes,
it's also like I'm not sure how much translates over,
yes,
um,
yeah.
but
My
she's
name
very
is
good.
Oy'Nissh, so if you're on YouTube,
All right, let me add you now.
yes. Hopefully, I'll put this vlog up
Oh,
later.
sorry if I interrupted
No,
you.
no, 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 no. No, I think it's good when you're foraging or vlogging about foraging, and you meet people and you help them to you show them tips of how to use the
Brilliant.
things
Do you
that are
wanna?
available. So
There you go.
OYNISSH.
Oh, Y N I S S H. Huh?
Yes.
Hello, sweetheart.
That,
This is him. Fantastic.
there you go.
Brilliant. I'll check you out later. Perfect.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Right.
Enjoy
Have a
your
good day.
walk. Yes. So right along the hillside there, more of it. And we're coming to the end of the path. Well, it's circular path. And let me just go up this bit a little and see what's here. There you go. Well, that part is a bit bare, but we still have some along this bit. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So we're back where we started. So as you can see in this little area, there's just so much potential for foraging for wild leek or plemunji. And it's interesting because I just bumped into someone walking her dog and we just got chatting, and it's the same way I learn about edible stuff in Scotland, where I go walking in the woodland and people, I have conversation with people and someone would say, oh, that's edible. I was like, what is it? And then I would try it and I'd go research online, you know. But what I start to learn is there are many good resources in the Scottish Library, and I think the Royal Trust of Scotland that look after certain areas, woodlands and so forth. They've got good guidelines of edible stuff, especially when it comes to mushroom. So I know that um, in the UK, the wild leek, wild garlic and stuff are edible, you know, and it can do various stuff with it. So that's the plus. So I'm going to end the video now. In the next one is when I'll forage for it. But I'm going to go back to that place. Remember I showed you that um, hilly side where they seem to be a lot taller. I don't know why, but I'm going to go back there and forage for some. And hopefully with wild garlic and other stuff make some recipes from it. So follow me in the next video as I forage for the wild leek or plemunji.